broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go, I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm tired of dancing. Harder, harder. Where my demons dwell, my own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back up, climbing and climbing. I'm done with this ride, is what I tell myself, so I could feel something else. Yeah, I guess I had my bad days, but it doesn't mean I lost my style. Darling, where were you when my heart was on the ground? I thought time would prove that you would stick around. I guess time starts out, a king without his crown. Now I'm breaking and you're faking, girl. You never made a sound. Oh, wait, I'm tired of the pain.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to RFL. We are here for, I believe, round four. Yes, round four. We're here at, I would say, probably most of the drivers on the grid's home Grand Prix. We're here for the Great Britain Grand Prix at Silverstone, which is, as you've seen, I would say probably one of the most famous circuits. Former airfield, need to actually speak. Former airfield, different layout to now than what it was before, but as you can see, it is on screen. And some amazing pieces on track. And thank you to everyone for saying that was awesome. Did it with USA, so I mean, there's a lot of British drivers on the grid, so I had to. I had to do it because it's show favoritism to the Americans is not the best thing. So, but yeah. So as you can see, we are sitting on the track map. I'm going to try and get my co-commentator in a party. Let's see if it works this time. I hope it does. I do hear buzzing in my ears for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. We can hear Sambo. Yeah, anybody in the stream, let me know if the audio levels are a bit weird. But we are gonna jump straight onto the standings from after the last race in round 3. So Scott W, it takes a little bit more of a pronounced lead. Well, basically 1 point, I believe, from Vapid, who's currently second. Paraquix obviously sitting third. Antsmaz in fourth. Angelissimo in fifth. Pred, who's not here tonight, I believe.
No, he's not.
P6, and then we have Cal, Adam Lee, Kirby, Checo, Tom Gorian, JDMFA, Wolsey, XCR Leclerc, NT25, So Fresh, Senna, Futile Rydog, Alpha RA, Dillworld, Kendo, who I believe is actually Scrub.
Yes, that is indeed.
Anti-Beacon, I can't see the name under Anti-Beacon. Then we've got Rosberg and Kyle. So Williams are currently in the lead of the constructors, with obviously Red Bull not too far behind by 3 points. Actually, the top 3 are very close. In fact, the top 5 are very close. Because we have Williams on 38, we have Red Bull on 35, Haas on 34, Ferrari, Aston Martin on 30, then McLaren on 28, Alpine on 23, Alpha Tauri 17, Alfa Romeo 15, and Mercedes 7. Yeah, so I mean, it's rather close. But we are going to jump into the actual stream with the actual race. So, Sam, as I was saying at the start of the stream, this is a home Grand Prix, not just for me and you, it's for a lot of the drivers on the grid.
Yeah, so a lot of drivers do reside? That's the word I'm going to go with. In the UK. So I believe there's a couple of new faces in here that we have not seen race before. I mean, there's a few names I remember that well, there's at least one that I remember, BC Ryan from XCR.
Yep.
Who is making his debut. We also have Morgs, I believe, making his debut, who was one of the commentators for this league, as well as Scrub.
I believe Morgs was a commentator in season 4 and 5 and 6, I believe. He did race before he was commentating. And I think he stepped back from it a little bit. But yeah, you're correct, he was a commentator. Actually, I think he started commentating in RFL with me.
Indeed, I think, yeah, because he did commentary for you when I think I remember at some point I worked with you in commentary a few seasons back as well for this league at some point as well.
Yep. So, basically coming full circle, I would say. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for round 4 of RFL. We're currently on board with NT25 and the Red Bull, who is the first person out, but he has a very, very fast Ferrari, very close to him in GDMFA. So we'll see if he backs off and lets the Ferrari go. I think he's not, he's actually leaving, so it looks like he's going to go first. So, best thing to say about Silverstone, I've not, oh, actually it doesn't matter, GDMFA's just spun. I don't think I've met one driver who doesn't like this track yet.
Apart from Scott.
Yeah, apart from Scott. Yeah, I'm actually. Do you know what? I seen his tweet earlier, and I told him if he gets on the podium, I'm mentioning it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, most of the drivers that I speak to about Silverstone, they basically say the same thing. It's not an overly difficult track, but it is an easy track to lose places on, obviously because of the length of the pit lane. If you crash or lose your front wing, it's painfully long to pit to repair.
Indeed.
But I believe NT is the first driver. He's not invalidated yet. He was close to. I think he was close to going through. I believe it was.
A lot of the corners here do tend to lend to being able to very easily cut them and validate your lap. So that sort of agrees in that sentence.
I think a lot of people are going to be caught at the exit of Cops. That's probably where they're going, because for me that's where.
I'd also say Maggots and Beckett's as well, because you can very easily corner cut on at least one of those corners as you head through that sequence.
Yeah, I mean the exit of Beckett's is probably the place where they're going to. Well, actually no. I would actually say either the exit of Maggots or the exit of Beckett's is probably the one they're going to do it if they don't do it on the exit of Cops, because NT has invalidated on the exit of Cops. I
believe Richie also invalidated, who was the car behind him.
Well, we have Morgs in the McLaren about to set the first lap time then, and it's going to be a 1:28 by the looks of it. Yep.
Yeah, I believe from what he said before this race that he's been away from the game for about 4 weeks, so expect a little bit of rustiness on his side.
Yeah, it's not good when you've been away for the game for a while, because you kind of lose. I mean, you don't really lose. Like, you don't get rustiness, I would say, because I mean, I stepped away from the game for like a season and a half. Oh, and Adam Lee is almost spun. Nice save. Yeah, I stepped away from from racing for probably a season and a half. Came back and was absolutely fine. So, I mean, it just depends how quickly you get to grips with the game. As Kirby slots himself into P2 with a 1:28.9, good lap time from him. Adam Lee does a 1:40.5 after the spin. So Fresh goes into fourth with a 1:31, and Scott doesn't like the track.
Yeah, the good old racing driver excuse being used there.
Yeah, I don't like the track. I believe Berserker Mark is going to be next.
Yep.
Now, we know
a person I have rate. Yeah, he is quick. He's put himself into P4 there. He is a quick driver.
Yes, we've seen him quite a few times in different leagues and know how fast he is. So he's probably going to be one to watch. NT goes for another lap and puts himself P5 with a 1:29.2 as
Bill World, I believe, has crashed.
Yep, he has.
He's crashed in sector 2. I believe he's crashed at Max Verstappen corner.
Richard does a 1:38.4. Some people not getting to grips. Maybe the track temp's not as high as what we think it is, because I mean, Silverstone's always known for the British Grand Prix is known for rain, because Britain is known for rain. But the temperature.
Well, the UK in general is known for rain, but let's be honest, not at the moment though. But it's a bit of an anomaly on that.
Well, the track usually is known for low grip because of the low temperature.
Oh, there goes Parrot. Parrot's backwards at the final corner. That's an unfortunate one there, which means he's going to have to.
Oh, Vapid slots into P1. Scrub slots into P5. 1:29.0, but Vapid does go provisional pole with a 1:28.4, which is a really good time. Scott's probably coming into the pits. He is coming into the pits.
Because, as you say, the pit lane is so long here that you don't really want to be going around for too long, because you're going to have less time to do laps. I'd say you're only going to get about maybe 2 or 3 laps at most. Unlike in other tracks where you might get 4 laps if the track length is short enough.
Well, I mean, outlap and in-lap is probably where it stings you the most. Because you're having to come back in and drive. I mean, basically the way you can contend this for any GT drivers out there is the pit lanes for the GT3s at Spa. If you are on the second part of the pit, you have so long to drive down. It is ridiculous. It's basically the same for F1 drivers because they're used to driving so fast. The pit lane's that long, it just takes so long to get back into the pit, then refuel the car, change tyres, get back out, and then drive out, and then do the outlap. Yeah, Sam's right. You're only maybe going to get at a push 2 or 3 laps. I mean, if you overfueled the car for maybe 3 laps, you could possibly go for that because you obviously don't need the tyres. But then again, you are running the risk of this is a high wear track.
Yeah, your most amount of grip you're going to get on these tires is probably on the first lap. Anything after that, they've taken a few liberties with the car wanting to spin if they've put too much wear onto the one set of tires.
Yeah, so I mean, you'll probably see them come out, do 1 lap, come back in, and then do another lap, and then come back out, and then probably save it until about 3.5 minutes range to go back out again, do an out lap, and then probably fire in the last one. We do have 19 drivers here. We were supposed to have 20. I don't know who's missing.
Could have been Pred. I'm not entirely sure. No, I'm not sure. Actually, no, I know who it was supposed to be here, but hasn't responded. It was XCR Leclerc.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, no, it wasn't. Matty was actually Vapid. No, he wasn't racing.
Right. I don't know who it was then. I'm not sure who it was then.
I think there was 16. Actually, no, I think that's correct. There was 16 drivers plus 3 reserves. So yeah, we're good. 19. We're on board with Cal, who's on an outlap.
Checo's currently in the first sector, actually on a lap at the moment. His teammate.
Well, just been informed by Vapid, Pred has dropped out last minute, so that's unfortunate for Pred. But yeah, we still have 19 drivers, which is still a lot.
Oh, an invalidation there from Checo.
Yeah.
Just across the white line. That's the margins you have with the tire for the track limits around here. I mean, there are some tracks that are particularly bad for corner cutting, and this is one of them in terms of the fact that it's easy to do. It's much like Imola in a way in terms of there's not really much give in terms of how much the white line will give you in terms of what it'll accept.
I think Checo's invalidation was correct. He kind of mounted the curb and literally went straight over it like turn 1 Italy. If you mount that curb, it kind of invalidates you. He literally crossed over the white line on 4 tyres.
I mean, the curbs are definitely more aggressive this year, especially some of them you do not want to go anywhere near. Although, in saying that, I've been on board with Cal at the moment, and the track limits are still a little inconsistent because some of the times you'll go across the white lines and you'll be absolutely fine, and other times you'll go slightly over it and you'll get a track invalidation or warning in the race, which really doesn't make much sense to me, but I suppose that is the game being just inconsistent.
I mean, yeah, obviously they try with the coding for the I wouldn't say hitboxes.
Cal's backed off.
But basically it's the same as like a hitbox for anything like Call of Duty. NT's actually spun in the red boat, and you better watch what he's doing. There's a Ferrari coming down. I believe that's JDMFA. It is. Yeah, it was. Artie's actually left the session.
Yeah, he's having fun trying to connect to the session at the moment.
But yeah, so basically the program codes for kind of like Call of Duty, the hitboxes, but obviously they can't get it perfect. Well, I mean, as Codemasters, they don't get anything perfect. Let's be real. But
to note, looking at the front, in terms of time, Scott is currently on a lap as Para puts in the quickest time. Scott was half a second up on Vapid's time. Let's see if he's actually able to find the time on Para's time now as he's coming through the final corner, the final 2 corners.
Well, Para, the first driver into 27th.
I mean, we never saw Para last week, so he's going to have to find a response. Obviously, having lost points last week. As there goes Scott, half second up, 27.9.
Close.
0.2 of a second.
Yep, very, very close. Let's see. There is the Ferrari on, I believe it's Angelisa. No, it's not. It's JDMFA. He was on a lap, but he's just.
I don't know what's going in there with him, that Haas there. I believe that is VC Ryan.
Yeah, he's on a lap as well. I think the two of them just got caught up with each other being on laps.
That's probably cost VC Ryan a little bit, but he will still improve on his time. Considering there's a little bit of a hindrance on lap there, 29.6. Still puts in P9.
I've done it again. I forgot to put my profile on Do Not Disturb. Come on, let me change it.
I see what's come up on screen there.
Yeah. Again. So Vapid has improved,
28.2.
but he's not in the 27 yet. That's interesting.
I will say, for the fact of Morg's been away from the game for a few weeks, see, up in 4th place, not bad for the reserve McLaren driver.
Yep, let's have a look. Oh, okay. What happened there? I just seen a... Oh, the two of them came in the pits at the same time, that's where it was. So Kirby comes across, 129.0, no improvement from Kirby. There's going to be a McLaren next, I believe that's Morgs on an outlap. There's a Haas stopped in the middle of the track.
That could be VC Ryan.
No, I think it's Scott.
Oh, both of them, I suppose. Yeah, it could be him or VC Ryan. VC Ryan's for the bind. I wonder if he's run out of fuel.
He has. He's actually pulling into the pits. So.
As we have, while you're looking at that, I believe there's a few Ferrari. I think there's going to be a Ferrari crossing the line.
Yeah,
I believe it's JDM.
Yep.
See if he can improve on his time, which is currently a 34. It will be an improvement. 31.0.
There's an Aston Martin, but I believe that's Cal on an outlap.
Yep, Richie's over a second up on his personal best.
Which will take him down to about 29, 28.
29.1.
P8.
I tell you, that's a very congested area, round about the low 29s. The high 28s, low 29s, that is very close.
Trying to figure out who's next. I believe...
it's an Alpine, I believe.
It's going to be...
Looks of it.
Kirby? Nope, he's 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds down, so he's coming into the pits. There is an Alpha Tauri.
It's going to be... It'll be Cal then.
Cal's
down
on his time a little bit. That's not Cal, that's
it's Cal's Checo.
So let's... Oh, purple sector 2 Checo. So let's see what happens.
It's going to be interesting to see how much of these I actually believe, because the purple sectors are a little bit off sometimes.
I mean, unless it's the first person who's out, I don't believe it. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of time he can do. He's not set a time yet. This is going to be his first time in the session, so...
Yep, it's P10.
Decent time.
I believe the next car is going to be... Berserk. Yep, so fresh. Berserker Mark's also on an outlap as well. Cal's backed off. He's not going to have time to go again. I think that's Cal done for the session.
He invalidated, so he's definitely going to have to come in and go again.
I believe that's a Mercedes. I believe that's going to be Senna unless he's not on an improving lap. He's invalidated as well, so it'll be another. It might be Adam Lee, but he's on an outlap, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's going to be whoever that... Yeah, that's Berserker Mark also on an outlap, I believe. Yeah.
Here on outlaps. Is that Vapid? No, it's not Vapid. Is it So Fresh? I believe it's So Fresh. Yep, So Fresh is 2/10 up on his time, and he's just coming out the exit of Cops now. So, the other Williams, obviously his teammates up in P3, so let's see what he can do. I've got to admit, they're navigating Beckett's quite well. I love that the corners. The corners are the best part of this track. But let's see, because the final parts are slow corners, so you tend to lose a lot of grip coming out here. So we'll see as he doesn't hit the inside curb. That could have been a mistake there, but he is 7/10 up. That puts him P13 with a 130.
Yep, Angelissimo's about to go across the line. What's going to be from P4? And only his first lap of the session, 28.3. He's invalidated straight on the next lap around, so he's going to have to either cane it round to get another lap in or not. It's going to be interesting to see if he can actually get himself round again.
Just under a minute and a half left in the session, so this is going to be...
That's a couple of people leaving the pits very late, one of those being Scrub, I believe. And the other one being, I believe that's Richie.
Berserker Mark's 11 seconds down, he's not improving.
I suppose he may well still have time to get around to get another lap in though, I suppose.
Possibly, we'll see what NT can do. He's just over half a tenth.
Oh, that is a curb. That's a curb-assisted spin for VC Ryan at the end of the first sector, so he's not going to be improving. He was just under a tenth up, and then just lost the back end.
Well, we're about to see what NT25 can do in the Red Bull.
He's up marginally.
Yep.
P7. That small improvement gained them 3 positions.
Yep, really good pace from himself. I believe Morris is on outlap just about to start. Angelissimo's 2 seconds down. JDMFA is on an outlap.
Oh, Scott spun his final lap. Same place as his teammate.
Yep.
So no improvement for Scott either. So it's now. Oh, yeah, and Scott, that's a retirement on track. I'm not sure you can do that.
No, I think that's against the rules.
Angelissimo's also retired as well, but I believe he's in the pits, so...
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Scott, you may well get penalised for that.
Well, Vapid's on a...
That was caught on stream by me, at least.
Vapid is on an on a timed lap as well. Oof, that was close. Let's see...
Para has not... I believe Para has not improved, and Vapid is down his time.
He is just under a tenth down. Kirby, I believe, is just behind him as well, and he's 3 tenths up on his time. So this could be a...
Oh, Morgs is invalidated as well, and then immediately ran wide. So Morgs will not be improving on that position, so he could be jumped by Kirby.
Well, here goes Kirby into the final 2 corners. Vapid crosses line, doesn't improve. Kirby crosses line.
Kirby does improve. Yep, there we go. That doesn't. Berserker Mark, I believe, is still going round again potentially. I'm not sure. Nope, he's on no battery.
Yeah,
he's on no battery.
Well.
Scrub is only marginally half a tenth down in his lap, but I don't know if he's actually fully pushing or not.
Oh, I have no idea what happened there.
Oh, Morgs, 5-place grid penalty for the collision with Adam Lee. What's happened in the final corner?
I just jumped onto the end of that. I believe it was a collision in the pit lane.
So that's a problem for Morgs. That's going to start him way down the field.
Yep, he will start P11 after the penalty. I believe that's it though. Everyone in the pits or has finished qualifying. Obviously, we still have the 5-lap race to go, then the 50%. But we are just waiting for Morgs and JDMFA to retire from the session.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there with them between Adam Lee and Morgs. I mean, that's going to be one to maybe decipher after the whole weekend's over.
From my point of view, when I jumped on board, it looked like lag, but I only caught the tail end, and Adam Lee's car lagged back onto the track, so I think it was lag.
That's unfortunate then, because that's just...
If it's lag, it's really bad on Morgs, because obviously there's nothing they can do. But qualifying has finished, and we have the final grid for the 5-lap race with Paraquicks taking pole. Scott W will be starting 2nd place, with Vapid in 3rd, Angelissimo in 4th, Kirby in 5th, but Morgs will start 6th, but will start 11th with a 5-place grid penalty. NT 7th, Scrub 8th, Berserker Mark 9th, Rich 10th, Checo in 11th, VC Ryan 12th, Cal 17, F1 13th, SoFresh 14th, JDMFA in 15th, XCR Senna in 16th, Adam Lee in 17th, Alpha RA 18th, and Dillworld in 19th.
Yep, I believe Dill didn't even get a lap on the board, and I believe the RA just had issues connecting the entire session there, so...
I don't think Alpha RA could put a time in because he kept disconnecting from the lobby, which is not a good thing when you're about to start racing. But we obviously will wait for the drivers because they will be... I mean, they don't have setups to do because it's only 5 laps, but they'll still give them a couple of minutes.
No strategy,
but
yeah.
Yeah, in case they want to go grab a drink or go to the bathroom or anything like that, so there'll probably be a couple of minutes.
It is a lot darker now than it was in Quali, and someone has immediately readied up. That is one of two things that's happened there. So there's been a glitch with the lobby.
Yeah, Artie's jumped back in and I think it's gave him the selection.
Means we will probably have the lobby restart because I believe that is nothing to do with him. It's just the game automatically readying up because there's absolutely no formation lap on this, so no one's going to be ready.
Well, as you mentioned before, it does look a lot darker. So, but
Yes.
as you said, there is no formation lap, and I can't.
I don't know how many people are going to be ready. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to be ready. And Senna's got a drive-through penalty there, so that's unfortunate for him. I think a few people were indeed caught out by that start.
Well, it has begun, and people are moving up and down all over the place. Morris is actually 7th. So.
That's not it. Oh, I know how this works then.
He's going to get a penalty in the
pit
actual
is
race.
going to penalty in the actual race, so whatever he finishes, he's going to go 5 places back from that, so that's going to hurt even more.
Yep. NT all over
Side
the
by
back.
Oh! That is not. That's a bit of an annoying move there
went off.
from NT. Oh,
Kirby's.
there goes Kirby.
Yep, Kirby has went off. I believe that's who we saw in the background.
Oh, Morgs, you need to be careful with your rejoining there because there's three wide. I think Adam Lee's going to be hung out to dry here.
Well, he gets past Cal, still side by side actually with Cal.
So Fresh is also retired as well.
Yep. No safety cars. It's only 5 laps.
Oh, Cal trying to come back there at Adam Lee, but nothing happening there. As VC Ryan's now got past. They're going side by side. I think VC Ryan's going to lose 2 positions because of that. He's lost position to Scrub as well, so Scrub's now going to be having a go potentially at Cal if he can get close enough. It is a madness in this field. Here comes Morgus is having to defend heavily in the McLaren. As Adam Lee, he's going to maybe do the under and over on the McLaren driver. It's going to be in the outside for the next final corner. It's going to be 3 wide. Cal thought about it for a second. Oh, a little bit of contact there, a little bit of side pod contact. Still in a straight line, I suppose. It's going to save Morgs a little bit because Adam Lee is XCR sent his match to take a time penalty for speeding to the pit lane. Must have had damage. As it looks, Adam Lee is struggling a little bit because Cal is still keeping up with him at the moment.
Yep. I mean, no, I don't think Adam's got any damage. I mean, Morgs is right there as well, and
oh, Scrub and Ryan just behind those guys. Oh, there's a spin for Berserker Mark, I believe, off one of the curbs. Scrub runs a little wide with not good traction out of into the straight. I believe we've also had another yellow flag behind. I believe Berserker Mark, that's still him going dropping down the places, but as I say, VC Ryan has lost it in precisely the same place he lost it in quali.
Yep, VC Ryan spins, drops down to 13th. Oh, something's happened with Checo and I believe
Adam Lee
Richie.
and Morgs once again side by side. Morgs not getting a good exit out of that corner. Obviously, maybe some of that rustiness, as I say, he's still getting used to the game once again. However, he's going to be close, but Adam Lee's going to have to defend the next corner. However, Morgs is going to have problems from behind from Cal and the Aston Martin, as well as Scrub, who's catching up once again. It's looking at the battles at the front. Looks like there's that's Senna at the back who's having trouble in the Mercedes. As I think Morgs made a mistake coming out of that corner. That's potentially going to cost him 2 positions to Scrub and Cal. Cal's already got past. Is Scrub going to try and go around the outside of the McLaren driver? No, he thinks better of it right there.
Oh,
as there's JDM. That's unfortunate there for the Ferrari driver. As there goes.
Quick sets the fastest lap. Adam Lee's actually starting to pull away. We've got another yellow flag. I believe it's JDM.
I believe that's still JDM, yeah. Obviously, once those tyres are overheated, it'll take a little bit for those tyres to come back down again. Looking a bit further back as well, we have Checo and VC Ryan side by side. Checo's managed to get the move into turn 1. VC Ryan having to cede the position there, as it looks like we still, as I say, there's Berserker Mark and Richie as well going side by side. Richie M's gone off track. That's a bit of a dangerous rejoin there from Richie M, I must say. You need to be a little bit careful on your rejoins.
Yeah, he got pushed
off. Oh, just contact there, Richie. And that's a bit. And you just need a little bit more care next time on that one. It's good that neither car spun there, so that was good.
Well, Scrub on the back of Morgs. Morgs looks like he's losing a lot.
Adam Lee on the back of NT. NT is up. Someone's happened to Para, by the way.
Oh, JDMFA's retired as well, but I think he's retired in the pits.
Yeah. Para's made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, he's dropped 2 places to Vapid and Scott, so it looks like he's either spun. Actually, he's got his teammate on the back of him.
Adam Lee spun on one of the curves behind. Adam Morgs is about to lose position further back to Scrub, who I think Scrum may well have a little bit more deployment there, as Adam Lee, as I say, still losing positions, as well as Artie, who's not, as I say, not having fun in the Alfa Romeo. No, well,
Whoa!
the
Tara
McLaren as
spun.
well.
He's dropped to 8,
Oh
9th,
dear,
10th.
that, oh, contact! Morgs and Cal, I think Morgs has outbraked himself and hit Cal. Cal is round. Just caught that from the perspective of Scrub, so that's a bit unfortunate there for Cal, as Cal was just a passenger there seeing exactly what happened with Morgs. I mean,
Something's happened to Morgs as well, he's off the track.
Yep. Let's just say there's been a lot more, let's just say, controversies early on than what we had last week.
I mean, I think most of this is low grip, because obviously the temperature's not going to be helping. A lot of people getting penalties as well, but Vapid and Scott have checked out at the front. NT up to 3rd. What a drive.
Scrub as well up to 4th now with everything that's happened. I mean, this is a thing I've realised, because I haven't spoken with Scrub personally. Knowing the fact that he won't really go for anything too risky. He'll just let people make the mistakes in front and just kind of, let's just say, profit from it.
Yeah, he's quite a reserve driver.
He's also, I believe, on no track. He's almost no assist as well, so I believe he does have to be a little bit careful.
Oh,
here we go.
He's spun again.
Oh, he's done the under and over on NT. NT went for the dummy. And Scrub has got him back. Let's see if NT can come back at him. Scrub's not going to have much... There's Para. Para's out the race. Oh, NT tried to come back at Scrub there, but Scrub has the inside covered. As we're on to the final lap there. With the cars there. As, to note, by the way, I might want to note something. Dillworld started at the back of the grid.
Yes, and he's not P5.
He's in 5th now.
Yep. Taking advantage of all this is what I mean whenever I'm commentating and I say don't give up, always keep going. This is what I mean. Anything can happen in front of you, so obviously if something happens you can benefit massively from it. Angelissimo receives a penalty as well.
Yep, that's going to help Cal behind if he can keep up, because he's about 2 seconds behind him.
He has Checo in front of him, and he's about 5. No, he's actually almost. He's losing time. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. Who is that? I believe that was a Haas of VC Ryan, but I don't think he's here.
No, he is not at the moment.
So let's have a look. Anyone closer?
No, I believe Artie and Adam Lee. I believe Adam Lee has had a little bit of an issue. Yep, he's lost at the end of Sector 1. That's the second time I believe he's lost it there.
Well, NT's.
That's his first.
So this may help.
That's Dillworld. That's Dillworld up to P4 now. So P4 for the start of the race. That is a good starting position.
Yep, it does have Angelissimo all over the back of him, but
yeah, but Angelissimo also has a 2-second penalty, so he doesn't have to worry about him. As we haven't even noted the fact that Scott has crossed the line and won the sprint race for this.
Yeah, crossed the line and lost his front wing.
And then
finished second.
Scrub is going to finish P3. That's a very good finish there, as NT is going to get that, but I believe Dillworld 2:10, he must have not been close enough.
Nope, it was about 2.2 seconds past him.
2:10, not much behind there, behind NT.
Cal jumps Morgs, Berserker Mark jumps Morgs, Richie's going to take P11.
He will not. Richie had a penalty, so he wouldn't jump. Is Artie, considering he couldn't connect in the actual set, he couldn't connect to begin with. P12, not a bad finish result for him.
Yep. VC Ryan will take P13, but I don't think he's in the car. XCR7.
I will go and see if I can get VC Ryan back in the lobby.
Adam Lee is going to jump him. Oh, he hit the wall as well, but I believe he did jump him. Well, that was a hectic 5 laps. Now I'm looking forward to the 50%. I mean, that was only 5 laps.
What do you think? Well, if that's 5 laps, what's 26 going to yield?
Yeah, I think some drivers just need to calm down a bit. I mean, I know the 5 laps are just push it to the limit, but I mean, there's push it to the limit.
I mean, the advantages of the particular driver is reserved to Scrub. Look where he started and look where he finished.
Yep. But unfortunately, Para didn't keep a hold of the pole for the 50%.
Yeah, we never actually saw exactly what happened to Para. We just noticed he just lost a lot of time.
I seen him spin the second time, but I didn't see him spin the first time. But
As I say, once again though, Scott, as I say, looking very quick.
yeah,
Considering this was all like last week, Scott was just very consistent.
four
He had
tenths
enough of a
quicker.
pace gap on Vapid where the front two just kind of checked out, and then obviously there was just chaos behind. I mean, Scrub's going to be in great position for the start if he can just watch these two battle in front, as well as particularly people like Dilworld. I mean, he's probably going to be a little surprised with how far up he potentially finished from where he started. And when you wouldn't have expected that in just 5 laps of racing.
Well, Scrub on his debut has actually scored P3 and gets his first points from the sprint part of the race.
Hmm?
Let's see if he can carry it over to the actual race. But
Yep.
Scott W does take pole position and top points in the sprint race with Vapid in second, Scrub in third. NT will take P4 with Dilworld in fifth, Angelissimo sixth, Checo seventh, Cal eighth, Berserker Mark ninth, Morgs 10th, Richie will take 11th, Alpha R in 12th, BC Ryan in 13th, Adam Lee did jump Senna and got 14th with Senna in 15th, Paraquick 16th, JDM in 17th, Kirby in 18th, and So Fresh in 19th. So, I mean, there is a few DNFs. Hopefully, the guys will take it a little bit easier this time because it is a 50% race and it's a lot longer than 5 laps. You actually have to think about strategy for this one and
Mm.
what you're actually
I
going to do.
mean, there is a couple of strategies you can do here. You can do the standard strategy, which pretty much the same for every track, which is either medium hard or hard medium, one of the two. Either that, or you can maybe try and see if you want to go a little bit more aggressive with the mediums to softs or the hards to softs, which could potentially work, but bear in mind about the tire wear on that one.
Uh, yes. Um,
Hmm.
just having a discussion about everything. Yeah, so obviously people are having slight issues with grip on track. As you can see, they are sliding all over the place. Um, Wait, 50%. Yeah, I mean, you've done like 3 races, Lewis.
I was
So,
gonna say, if you,
yeah, you've done like 3 races. You know it's a short quali 5 lap, then 50%. It's like that for every race. Um, so 26 laps is next. Um,
I
yeah,
also realised as well that apparently Dill World apparently hadn't went from 19th to 5th with half a front wing.
yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, but this game actually lets you carry on with no front wing or half a front wing. So I don't know what's happening there. But yep, Scott saying nice and easy. Yeah, um, I definitely think people are gonna have to take it nice and easy just because this is. I mean, obviously you want to be competitive, you want to be up the front, but it's not worth taking half your entire front wing off your car. Um, so hopefully everyone takes it a little bit easier now that the 5 laps out the road, because that's just for qualifying. And as we said before, the top 3 only score points, whereas here I believe, where is it? In,
Top 12, I believe.
yeah, so top 12. Um, so there is potential of decent points in the actual race, if you don't score any points in the sprint race. But we'll have to wait and see, as we are just waiting for, I believe, Vapid to
Yep.
set
I
up
think
the
he's
grid.
just doing the grid at the moment, so
Yep.
we're just waiting for that. As Adam Lee is just Adam Lee's very eager to go, by the way, from the fact I can just tell him just seems readying up.
Yep. I think some of the drivers will just be wanting to get in and get driving. Yeah, I think A was pushed pretty quickly.
Hmm. I mean, one of two things has happened there. There's been someone's pressed it way too quick, or there's been a glitch without Artie obviously popping in and out of the session. He's rejoined and the session's just immediately started with him just basically not being able to pick anything of his car or his setup or anything like that. So obviously that could have happened as well.
Yep.
That is a glitch that does exist in this game.
Yes, it does. I believe it happened to someone I was racing against, where they hit A to take control of the car and actually automatically readied them up, which is a bit stupid, but still.
As I say, we're just waiting for the draft. We're just waiting for everything to be set up, and then we'll be going for the main race itself. 26 laps of the Silverstone circuit. While we're waiting, actually, obviously, I don't know if he's still here or not. Obviously, well, as we're sitting in the lobby, and obviously, not much to say. Obviously, the British Grand Prix has been held. If we're talking about sort of real life racing, it's been held at a lot of locations throughout the year.
Yep.
Interesting one for chat. Who is in chat, and obviously for yourself, Will? The what is the favourite venue you've seen personally? Obviously for or favourite version of the track. If we're talking about Silverstone, like old or new layout.
I mean, me personally, I like the new layout. The old layout was okay. Don't get me wrong, I did like it, but I feel the new. I mean, it's kind of like Imola. The old layout at Imola was good because it had fast corners, but it was just way too dangerous and had to be revamped. I think it was kind of the same with Silverstone. The track layout was good, but they needed to make it a bit more competitive and move some of the stuff around, like making having the straight where the old pit lane was. I mean, it made sense for the older era cars, but for obviously the newer era with the hybrid engines and stuff, it doesn't really make sense. They need to have a bit of a longer run because we definitely know what happens when it's a very short run in turn one. But I mean, yeah, I think the newer layout kind of suits the style of driving for the new era of cars, shall we say. Um, yeah, the old layout.
Yeah, he's talking about Imola.
Yeah, we
Old
know
layout
that.
of Imola.
Yeah. It didn't just kill him though.
That same weekend, I believe, if
Roland
we're talking about
Brassabon.
that particular. Also, that was the same weekend that Barrichello had the accident with the tyre bundle as well, if you remember that.
Yes, he did. I believe the corner before where Senna went off was where Roland Ratzenberger hit the wall and it disintegrated his car. So I mean, I would probably say it's the same with every track. Every track has to evolve for safety reasons, and Imola was the same, Silverstone was the same. I mean, Spa is definitely one that should be altered a little bit to make it a little bit safer. But I mean, if I had to put one in that bracket, I would say Monaco. That one is.
The thing is, what can we do? What can you do with Monaco though? Because you're not really got that much space to really make that many amendments.
Well, I think most people's problem with Monaco is the fact you can't pass. So basically, it
That's
comes
always
down.
been the case though,
Yeah,
hasn't it? The problem I think is because the width of the cars now, like the cars got wider, so it almost makes it impossible to overtake anyway because of how wide the cars are.
well, I mean, if you go back to the 2003 era, the cars were a lot slimmer, so you could actually pass. But saying that, I think if the track was made a little bit wider, um, even maybe run it out so there's a little bit more runoff areas, because I mean the only runoff areas you see are basically after the tunnel section. There is a runoff area after just before turn one where you can go straight on, and then after you start going downhill again, there's a runoff area there. I mean that's about it. 3 runoff areas for an entire track that's the length of Monaco. Plus it's for me, it takes a lot of concentration to drive Monaco. One little slip and you're in the wall, and that's it. I mean, we've seen it before. Real drivers, it happens to as well. Like Max Verstappen when he crashed at turn one, literally put his brakes on and locked his brakes and went straight into the wall. So, I mean, and then he went into the wall at the swimming pool section twice.
Which I believe the same thing happened to Leclerc as well.
Yes. So I mean, it's obviously not a track you can lose concentration on. You have one little mind slip and that's it, your race is over. And I don't, I know it's going to sound really bad, but I don't like races like that because, I mean,
It's literally a race where you can basically strategy decides the entire race. The main excitement for a track like Monaco is qualifying.
yeah,
That's your main event.
basically qualifying, unless someone gets like an engine failure or a suspension failure or just something wrong with the car. Qualifying is basically determining the grid, which to me shouldn't really happen. it should be the race that determines what happens, not the. I mean, you could potentially undercut people and stuff, but I mean, undercutting at Monaco doesn't really work because it's quite a fast track as well. So, I mean, it's not the longest track.
Undercutting would sometimes, as I say, will tend to leave you in a little bit of traffic, as I say on that front.
Yeah, exactly. If you come out and try and undercut someone, you could be stuck behind people that are like 7th, 8th, and 9th, and you can't get past, and you're losing time to the people in front. And yeah, so I mean, overcutting is probably the best thing to do at Monaco, but I would say Silverstone you could probably undercut.
The length of the pit lane, I'd say, does tend to lead towards that being very much a possibility because of the nature of the pit lane being, I believe it's only 37 miles an hour, I believe 60 kilometers an hour, something like that.
That was Baku, Lewis, not Monaco. He crashed at the castle section and said, "I am stupid," not Monaco.
Yeah.
But we are about to kick off with the...
Yeah, as I say, like just a little bit of sort of real life chat while we're just waiting for the drivers to sort
Yeah.
of ready up.
Actually, I mean, are you looking forward to the season resuming? I know I am.
I'll watch a few things here and there. I mean, there are a few things do need to change. If we're talking about real life, Ferrari needs some improvements in the strategist department. Maybe try and poach some of the staff from Red Bull, maybe if that's the case.
Yeah, they definitely need to change something because it's became a meme. Where
Yeah,
someone's put
the
on
the cloud meme of but not all yes.
Yeah, where they put on the Ferrari strategy. If someone loses a race because something happened, then they've been put on the Ferrari strategy. So, I mean, yeah, they need to do something. Because even though I absolutely adore Max Verstappen, I would love to see a Ferrari driver win a championship again. Because it's been far too long. I even have a Ferrari top on right now. So, but it's a Carlos Sainz one.
I was gonna say though, Ferrari are not the same team they were like a decade ago, so ago really. Like they've kind of changed a little bit since sort of the screaming V10s and V8 era.
Yeah, they have. They definitely have. I mean, I miss that era because I loved the sound of the Formula One cars, but the cars now just feel so much better and they look better.
The thing is, does the technology and all that really make up for the lack of engine noise still though? If we were really talking about a noise estate.
That JDMFA full guy's boyfriend wanted me to give a shout out for him to win. Well, I mean, it's a possibility anything can happen. We've seen, obviously, Paraquicks, 49 were
49 we're going.
Paraquicks spun and went out the 5-lap race. Hopefully that doesn't happen to anyone in this part of the race. But, I mean, it can't be ruled out. He has shown decent pace as well, so we could see. It could be a possibility of happening. What is that? That's actually a plastic lid.
Random facts or random things.
Yeah, I literally put my controller down for a second and hit something, but it's a plastic lid, apparently. So, yeah, it's, how long have we got? We've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, so, obviously, the real racing, I believe, is back next weekend.
Which I believe, what track are we at real life? Because I'm not really been in full tabs on the track.
Neither have I. So I have no idea where we are. Actually, there's a thing. I actually need to find out where we are next week in RFL. Let me have a look at the calendar. Oh, we're at France next week. Oh, that's going to be an interesting race.
Paul Ricard.
Yep.
I believe Paul Ricard next week. We have Antimas back as well. He's back from his holiday.
He will be next week, yeah.
Oh no, it's Belgium up next. Real life.
Oh.
Obviously don't have the altered version of the circuit in this game. It'll probably be next year's game.
Yep.
Well, there's more action in this year's Grand Prix than there was last year.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see Spa again, but obviously in RFL next week. It's Paul Ricard we go to, which I don't think a lot of people like. I know Australia's a reverse grid race. Oh, okay. And I believe we are getting underway. We are. Yeah, so Vapid just informed us that Australia's going to be a reverse grid race. So that'll be interesting. So, yeah, this is France next week is going to be very interesting because a lot of people don't like that track. And turn 2 is very, very hard to get right, especially in these cars. So I can't remember if we're on immersive.
No, we're on the standard one. Most leagues run because of the problems apparently with the tire temps, I believe it is, tire heating.
Yeah,
The leagues are running the broadcast camera view, which does screw around with the lap times, but in this they run with the immersive, which does work. I believe it's getting fixed though, the immersive one. The immersive
basically,
formation lap.
for anyone who doesn't know, there is a massive bug in the game where the host of the lobby's tyres will stay at the same temperature, but the rest of the grid will drop to 70 degrees. So most leagues have elected to run broadcast formation lap, which gets rid of the problem, but kind of screws up the.
Basically it takes only your, I believe it's only
Sector
does like
times.
your out lap, your one sector time, I believe, or something along
Yes.
those lines.
It basically takes I think it's the first or last sector it takes.
Yes. One thing I have found with this game though is the fact that when you have a virtual safety car or safety car, it puts the lap times back to normal.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. When the safety car or the virtual safety car comes out, it kind of corrects itself. So I don't know if it's maybe a bug that can be fixed by maybe turning the safety car up. But then again, you would probably have the problems of too many safety cars coming out. Oh,
Indeed.
Codemasters, we absolutely love you. Wait, no, loathe you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep. So looking at the strategy, obviously everyone's gone kind of one of two ways as per what I thought. Top 3 on hards.
Yep.
4th all the way down to 8th is on mediums. Then it's Berserker marking 9th on hards. Morgs and Richie on mediums. Then Alfari and Adam Lee 12th and 13th on hards. Then it's Senna, Power, Quicks and JDM are on the mediums. Kirby on the hards down in 17th, and then So Fresh and Kozlesko. Oh, I didn't see that name join.
Yep, because Let's Go jumped in at the last minute, starting last in the actual race, wasn't a part of the sprint race.
I believe he's a reserve.
He
So.
is, yes. I don't actually know who left. But someone did leave.
Oh, Scott has missed his box.
Yep, he has indeed.
So he's going to be something further back, which means Vapid may well be able to take advantage of this. Because he's quite a bit further forward. Cal's also. Oh, someone's carried straight on. I don't know what's going on there. I've just seen a car carry straight on. That's a McLaren? It's just stopped at turn 1. Who's going round?
Yep, actually, a McLaren is still going round. I believe it's Morg.
It's
not Morg.
Nope, no one is going round anymore.
Nope, he's back on the grid.
What's going on here? I believe this may well be a restart, potentially, if this grid will not get going.
Let's wait and see. Is it gonna get going?
Probably not. I mean, looking at it.
I'm hoping it will.
Oh, nope, we're still not seeing anything happen yet. I mean, this is a thing with the immersive formation lap. It either works flawlessly, and I think if more than, say, 2 or 3 people, there goes migrating host, I believe that is Vapid. Vapid is left, so we will have a restart.
Yep, and Vapid's car actually gets away really well.
Yeah, we could just invite Vapid back, who knows? I believe we are restarting though.
Yeah, I believe it is a restart. Oh no, Vapid's joined back.
He must have just had an issue. Hang on a minute, we're actually going. Hang on a minute. Well, he's dropped off, but he's dropped way far back due to what's happened. His power's got a 5-second penalty for corner cut, and his power's already out. That's, there's Adam Lee gone as well.
Okay, don't know what's happening here. Everybody's trying to make moves on everybody else, but...
I will go and see if I can get some clarification on what's going on.
Okay, don't know what happened there.
Bear with me, I'm gonna get some clarification on what's going on.
Yep, I am a bit confused on this one. Yep, restart.
Yep, we are restarting.
Yep. Yeah, we are restarting the lobby for anyone
Yep.
who is driving and watching. The lobby has been restarted, so obviously there was a slight issue with.
I believe it was one of the McLarens.
Yeah, I think it may have actually been an issue because Lesko wasn't on the grid for the 5 lapper.
Yeah.
It's kind of bugged the game out, but it should be okay once we've obviously once the lobby's been restarted. But
I mean, Kazelka just decided to show up. I mean, I'm quite surprised because I know where he normally races. So at the moment, so I don't know why he's not actually racing there.
I have no idea.
He's either joined the wrong lobby or it's something else has happened or they've like, who knows.
I have no idea. I just know the lobby is being restarted and I need the fan because it's getting a bit too hot in here again. And it's getting a little bit stuffy, so I'll get my trusty fan. So we are just waiting for the lobby has been restarted because Vapid had to leave and then jump back in because the lights weren't coming on, but we don't know what's caused it. So we will restart the lobby and get back in. I believe Morgs is asking why we're restarting. I believe it's because it affected more than 5 drivers.
That's just the only thing.
So we will see exactly what happens when the lobby's set back up by Vapid.
Oh, I think the lobby's back open again.
Yep, I believe the lobby is back open again. So let's grab Vapid wherever he is and try and jump in off of Vapid. There he is. Let's jump in. So yeah, there will be no restart after this. So if everything messes up, the lobby will continue on, and I've just been told by Vapid the formation lap will be on again. So they will have to do another formation lap, but it's just because I think the tyres will be absolutely freezing if they don't do a formation lap, but we'll see. So
I'm in the lobby, Vapid. Why are you inviting me?
yeah, I did that when I was in the lobby earlier as well. Just before, well, when I just started the stream, sent me an invite. I was already in.
All right, we are doing broadcast camera this
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I would say it's down to personal choice for the league owners, because there is. I know there's quite a few leagues that are still running immersive formation lap.
It's just to say if you actually have the chance of it actually completely bugging out at some point or another, because.
I mean, the league I raced in last Monday, no issues. I
I
didn't
wonder
even.
if it's dependent on how many people are in the lobby.
It might be. It might actually either be that, or it might be depending on who the host is.
Hmm. I mean, this game would even if you have a great connection, this game will still make it seem like your connection's terrible. So there's just
Yeah.
not really much to say on that one.
I mean, I host on a Sunday night, and it's still saying that it's crap, which I know it's not.
Hmm.
Jake in the chat as well. But yeah, so obviously, just waiting for Rapid to sort out the grid order, and then we can get going. I believe it's going to be a broadcasted formation lap this time, so we won't have to go through the entire formation lap. It'll just be um, a little
As I
cutscene.
say, to all the drivers, remember your setups, and remember, so say, yeah, just remember your setups and everything, make sure everything's correct and the same as before. Hear your keyboard in the background.
Um, yeah. We'll try not to. What? Uh, Now the track's going to be roasting. I don't think it'll be roasting. It never
Hmm.
usually is. I mean, it usually is sometimes, depending on if we get a good summer. Like, I mean, it would have been roasting this time because we had a brilliant summer, but um,
Hmm.
yeah, usually it's quite overcast, so the temperature doesn't rise on the track. So, but we'll see. We'll see what it says. Um, Obviously, I wish they would bring it up like ACC where we could see the track temperature and stuff.
Yeah, you think that wouldn't break something else in the game in the process of doing that?
Well, knowing Codemasters, it would probably break everything in the game. Then they'd find a fix for it and break something else. It's normally how it goes.
Hmm. You fix one thing and break about 700 others.
Yep. Um, just like Sam was
Even if
saying,
there isn't 700 things to break.
well, just like Sam was saying, all the drivers, please remember your setups. Um, because we don't want you going in with a custom setup league with a preset. Because you may get absolutely mobbed at the start. So hopefully everyone remembers to load the setup when the race actually
Yeah.
starts. I mean, it is intriguing. We obviously have to restart the lobby because a massive glitch happened that affected more than 5 drivers. It actually took out a couple of the drivers at the start. Obviously, we like the likes of Paraquicks and whoever else crashed out. I think it was a bit of lag where the cars were slowing down on track, and obviously people colliding with them or trying to avoid them and then sliding off and hitting the wall. So um, it definitely was the right call to restart the lobby because it just looked like there was so many issues. I mean, the people up front probably didn't have any issues, but definitely midfield towards the back were having massive issues. And that's what caused most of the DNFs, shall we say. But I think Vapid is just finishing off the last parts of the grid. Kirby saying he runs 1000 psi in his tyres, which I'm surprised they're not like monster truck tyres. Waiting for one driver apparently to pick his car, but I think he has now. And Vapid oh no, he's not. GDM has not picked his car. He needs to jump in the Ferrari. Oh, it has selected the Ferrari now, so we're good to go, and we are about to get going. So, fingers crossed nothing else happens and we can get going with the race. Alex saying,
Yeah, it's just so.
Alex saying he doesn't run tyres, so I mean he obviously runs saw blades.
I was going to say that's one way of getting. That's what an interesting way of trying to get rid of your competition, but okay.
Yep. So as we are just waiting for the drivers, I mean they should just take this part out. You can't actually change your strategy, your tyre strategy. So I mean it's kind of pointless having this on screen for the drivers. So we are just currently waiting for the last few drivers to get, or to hit A, I should say.
Just wait. Oh, just always waiting for something.
Yep. I mean, this bit's not actually that difficult. You just literally hit A. You can't actually change anything. I mean, there was a time.
Well, I mean, we could have the differences of people being on new and old consoles, and that could be the difference with loading times.
Well, I mean, obviously we could change it a couple of games back. I think it was like 19 or 20 we could change it, but now obviously it's been taken away. So it's just like the fuel. You can't go rich fuel anymore or lean. Well, you can go lean, but you tend to not want it because it sticks you in that. And I think you can only go lean during qualifying. But then if you don't put it back up to medium before you cross the line, it actually keeps you in lean mode all the way to the pits. But as we said, we hope the drivers are loading their setups, and then we can get this race underway. Because technically we should be, well, probably about 8 or 9 laps in now. So hopefully we can get it underway very shortly, because I know some of the drivers are time restricted on when they can race until. Going at 08, so we are going in 2 minutes, which is good. It means we're getting started, but yep, Cal's not far off, saying the game has 56,000 errors. I would probably agree with that one.
I mean, to be honest, the thing I can say with Cal is the fact that Cal has about several errors in just one race by himself.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? It seems to me like the game's got worse as the years have went on.
I mean, to be honest, the problem I have with the games is the fact that they've gotten more and more just like getting released unfinished.
Yeah, and they're trying to finish it over the space of like 6 months, which, I mean, technically, if that was the case, you wouldn't be paying £70 for a game that was unfinished.
I mean, you may as well be running a live service model by that point, if that's exactly what you're going for. I mean, we really should give it ideas to EA, because they'll actually do that.
Or maybe even just do what Xbox done and release previews where you buy the game for a cheaper price and watch it develop and play it at the same time. Basically called a beta.
Yes, something apparently that the game for the last couple of years is not heard of.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I know FIFA has a beta, but F1 hasn't had a beta for the last couple of years. So, or maybe it has. They've just gave it out to YouTubers or influential people. And
I mean, the problem with giving, this is the thing, I'm going to go on a slight rant here with stuff about this. The fact that you give it to people who generally have no interest in the game, or people who are not going to play the game after it's launched. You don't really get much feedback off that. You're better giving it to people who are actually esports people, esports drivers, that sort of thing.
well, I mean, Tiamat Murdoch's an esports driver. Well, I wouldn't say he's an esports driver, but he is a league driver.
Yeah, that's straddling the line there, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean he's quick, but I don't
The
think
only,
he's esports
I would say,
quick.
your only person I think you're talking about that sort of thing is Sean Otmere, because he's actually won 2 esports championships.
I mean, you could have Brendan Lee in that category as well, because he's won an esports championship as well. Although it was back in like 2019, I think, or 18. So it's quite a while ago, but still. You are about to see the broadcast.
Yep, broadcast formation lap. The tyres are all still the same, pretty much as what they were before.
Yep.
Para's gone for hards this time rather than mediums.
A little bit of
And the thing
change.
is, at least on this, nobody can be removed from the actual formation lap.
No, they will be basically put back into the slot by the game. So no
The only
one
thing is with this is that they're not going to be able to do formation. They're not going to be able to take on the fastest laps because the fastest laps are completely borked. So that's the only thing with this one.
Well, as you can see, the cars are pulling back up to the grid. They will sort themselves out, and then we should be able to get
As
going.
Artie's
Left
immediately
again.
lost connection again.
Yeah. Not really a good night for Artie, but hopefully he can get back in before the race starts.
Is Latvian connection having fun?
Um,
I believe it's Latvia's flag.
I think Artie's Dutch.
The Dutch got on Latvian flag. Yeah. There's a car missing off the grid, by the way. I've noticed there is an empty grid slot.
Oh, please don't tell me that's. I think the
I
lobby has glitched again.
I think Artie's glitched the lobby out. So I only see one McLaren.
And nothing is happening again.
So, oh, there's the migrating host again. That is Rapid leaving the lobby. I don't think that's sorted the issue. There's the migrating host thing coming up again. I suspicion this race is not going to happen.
Yeah, I think Vapid's left and it's still not solved the problem.
Yep. Artie, I think this might be your connection that's caused the problem this time.
Either that or it's a massive game glitch that's not letting us start. Yeah, this could potentially be game breaking. This may need to be rerun at some point.
Near the end of the season. Oh, there's Artie's car.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Is he got?
I've just spotted it. There we go. I don't think we're gonna get anything though. The entire field. Oh, there we go.
So there we go.
We're gonna get. Oh, let's say please wait. There we go. Oh, we are gonna get an actual race.
Yep, we are getting going with the race. Artie's car was just taking forever to get back on its grid slot, and the green is out. A lot of people not moving off the grid. Someone's actually stayed on the grid. Who was that?
That's Artie.
On the grid?
That might be Artie. Whoa, I believe we've had a collision at the back. I believe that is Kozlezko and a few other people.
Vapid and Artie are moving away very, very slowly as Vapid's left the session again. XR Senna spun off. Kirby is...
There we go. Oh, so fresh. It's very nearly spun at the back of the grid. I mean, we have Scrubs lost like a fair few positions off that start.
Oh,
he's down in 7th.
Spun as well.
He's going to get back past Checo around the outside. Side by side so between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. Obviously both... Oh, obviously that is an issue there. Cal's now going to have a go at... Cal's going to try and have a go at Scrub, but Cal decides to not decide to go for it as JDM's been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. I think he's tried to get going and he's just been screwed over by the game. As Scrub and Cal are going side by side. Cal's a little bit on the grass. He's going to lose a little bit of time to Para behind. Oh, there goes. That's a big moment there from Cal. Well saved, but that's cost him a few positions. That's going to mean that Scrub doesn't have to worry about it. Actually, no, Scrub has Para alongside him.
Yep. Trying to get past Checo, but can't.
We also have Angelissimo as well. Whoa! Oh, there's contact between, I believe that is...
Richie.
Richie's caused a bit of an almighty mess there. As we have Angelissimo and then T as well. Scott has got away, he's 1.5 seconds ahead. Morgs is up in 4th at the moment, still behind us, I believe. Angelisso's going to try and go for the move down the inside. He's going to be on the outside for the next corner. NT, the leading Red Bull at the moment. I believe Angelisso's going to get completely crowded out. However, Morgs has not got a good exit coming off that corner. And there goes Angelisso onto the wall. Nope, he's managed to save it. Unfortunate thing there for Angelissimo. Now it's Dillworld who's got himself up to 4th. He's kind of got himself away from all the chaos. Up to 4th place. He's currently just behind Morgs now. So we have a big battle going on further back here. As we have So Fresh Kozlezko going side by side. Kozlezko runs a little bit wide. Don't know if you're still here or not. Can't actually hear you.
I'm still here. Morgs and NT are actually battling for P2.
Yep, and that's another position there. Scott though, all that battling has meant that Scott's got 2 seconds.
Yep, he's pulled out 2-second lead, but Morgs is actually pulling him in. 1.8.
Bear in mind that Scott's going to have to get those tyres up to temperature. While I'm talking about that, by the way, is where we've got Dill who's going to potentially try and go for a move down the inside of NT. Oh, nope, not quite.
Kirby's on the back of So Fresh as well, going for a move into the corner and gets it done.
NT is really struggling with traction, or he's not having fun with those mediums because he's dropped. And Dilworld spun.
Dilworld spun. Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, that's the weird contact patch with the curbs on this game. It is just so stupid.
He was literally in the middle of the track and the back end just decided to go. That's
yeah, this is the thing with this game, is sometimes it will randomly just go as Checo. That's very wide there, as that's going to invite Para, who's in P5, to try and make a move. As now we have a huge gap up front, as NT's got a huge gap there, so we have a yellow. That's a yellow, that's Kirby's got 5 seconds for ignoring said yellow flag.
Yeah, So Fresh was round as well. Angelisa was in the pits.
Oh, there's a little bit of lag off of Checo there. I mean, I believe Checo's from a different, I believe, America, and there goes, I believe, oh, what's going on here? The lobby is
lagging all over the place.
Because I believe, I know Checo's from the States or somewhere around about that. States and Mexico?
I think it's Mexico.
He's having, I think that might just be some connection issues there, as NT has got himself, he's still there in the back there of Morgs, but he's only just holding on. Because of that, you see the massive gaps that have formed in those queues just because of what's been happening, as we have Cal and Dill. Nope, Dilworld spun again. That's his tyres probably still not being happy with everything.
Oh, NT and
Morgs.
Actually oh, Morgs is round.
And that's going to drop him a fair few position. He's only just got going again as well, as there's another migrating host. I don't know who was host this time.
I do not know.
Oh, this lobby is completely borked.
Morgs is left. I think Morgs was actually the host.
Okay, so I don't know who host has gone to now.
I do not know.
This lobby is completely borked, considering.
I don't think it's the
also,
best.
at some point in that, I don't know when it happened, but Artie crashed out the session. I don't know when that happened.
Yeah, apparently he was spectating the race and got DNF'd. So I have no idea what's happened to him.
Morgs has got himself back in again, but he's dropped down. He's dropped down a fair few positions. We have a yellow, I believe that's Angelismo at the back, who is not having fun with those hard tires. Oh, Para in fourth. It's having a go at Checo. I mean, Checo is just getting a huge bottleneck here between himself. NT's probably thanking him a little bit for having this gap, but that's a little wide there from Para. This is going to allow Scrub to potentially have a go at him, although Scrub, being Scrub, is probably going to wait a little bit and try and shape up when. Try and see if he knows when Para is going to make a mistake and try and take advantage of it.
Yeah, we also have Vapid down in P10. Not where we're used to seeing Vapid, but obviously the lobby's not really helping things. And the gap is now almost 6 seconds between Scott and NT. So Scott just sailing off in the distance. I believe Kozlesko has, it's not Kozlesko, it's Dilworld again, but he comes into the pits. Adam Lee gets a 3-second penalty. Is Dilworld going to retire from the race? Don't think he is. I think he's just coming into pit for the hard compound tyres. As we jump on board with a few other drivers, Paraquick still on the back of Checo. We've got another yellow flag. That is, I believe that's Kirby is spun. It is Kirby. He has spun. Drops a couple of places there. But we'll jump back up and look at Paraquix, who is so close to the back of Checo. Can't quite make a move yet. Oh, he's going down the inside at Cops, and what a move from Paraquix. Manages to take P3 from Checo, going down the inside on the exit, or in the middle of Cops onto the exit. But he's now going to have the Aston Martin driver all over the back of him with DRS. Is he going to be able to hold off from the Aston Martin driver. It looks like it is not quite close enough. He does have Scrub right behind him as well. But
Starting up, we have Berserker Mark and Adam Lee behind as well.
yep, didn't have a gap there between Berserker and Mark, but he is currently 2 tenths behind Adam Lee. That looks a lot closer than 2 tenths. As he hits the curb on the inside, which isn't a good idea. As Kozlesko loses a place to Kirby. Settling down a little bit now, but I think
I believe we also have Richie M as well, in the other Alpha Tauri just behind it, because let's go there in the battle for what is currently P11.
yep.
Yellow.
Flag. Who's that for? I don't think
That
that's
Adam
for
Lee?
It's not. It's I think no. Is it? Nope. I think it was for Angelissimo.
Oh, Berserker Mark and Cal. Cal goes down the inside, does make the move stick.
Yeah, I think it's for Angelissimo getting out the road.
Richie M and Kozlesko swap positions. Kozlesko just seemed like he just let him go.
Well,
Maybe thinking he can get past, but Soul Fresh is actually just in the back of this as well. Kozlesko has actually let him go as well. I think Kozlesko's just not trying not to get in the way of people here. He did say he was going to try not to get in the way of people too much, but as I say, he still has the right to battle.
yeah, I think he's playing the long game. He's obviously going to be on the hards for the last part, and everybody on the mediums, everybody on the hards is probably going to be on the mediums. So
Yeah, but he's also on mediums. That's the weird thing with Kozlesko. He's also on the mediums.
either that or he wants DRS.
He's actually, I'm not sure about that one, but let's say, if you're listening, Kozlesko, you don't actually have to be sitting back. You can race. Other people.
Paraquix has brought the gap to his teammate down to 1.1 seconds.
To note as well, his teammate has a penalty.
Yep, he does indeed. Adam Lee gets handed a penalty as well, but Paraquix has got a lot of time to make up to Scott W, who is 6.1 seconds out in front. There is a couple of battles going on track.
Yep, we've got the battle for what's behind Adam Lee. He is about 3 cars behind him. To note though, Scrub and Checo are still going at it, and Checo has no battery after 7 laps.
Yep, obviously.
Oh, ho, ho, that's a big slide from Scrub.
Nice save.
We're gonna go up to Cal, I think, because Cal's not managed to make it stick, but then he does have Berserker Mark directly behind him, as well as Vapid, who's trying to recover back after his obvious disconnection at the beginning of the race, obviously trying to sort the issues out. As here comes, I think Adam Lee is struggling a little bit. He's dropping off the back there of Scrub, 6.4 seconds. Adam Lee's going to be under a huge amount of pressure here. He's going to have to use the battery here to maybe keep Cal behind, as we're going to have Scrub and Checo ahead. I believe that has been a move made. Cal is going to go side by side. Adam Lee's going to cover the outside as Morgs. He's out. Morgs is out of the session. So that's unfortunate there. I don't know who was ahead between Cal and Adam Lee, so I wonder if Cal's trying to be a bit respectful there as they're still going side by side. Cal's going to be on the narrow inside line, however, it's going to be inside line for the next corner for Adam Lee. Cal, though, is going to make a clean move around the outside. No, Adam Lee's going to come back at him. They're still side by side with Adam Lee still very close. He's going to have the inside line for turn 1, but that's not a line you want. Cal, though, is very wide. It's going to be a customization to Berserker Mark here. As Berserker Mark is going to go down the inside of Cal. He's going to force Cal a little bit narrow, and it's not going to work out though, as Berserker Mark is now going to lose a position to Vapid, as Vapid now is going to be able to get the move on him around the outside. Now Vapid's going to have a go at Cal here, going to use a little bit of the battery that he's got, try and get past, going to go down the inside, going into the end of the first sector as Vapid's down the inside, gain 2 positions and up to 7th.
Yep, some really good fighting between everyone there. Adam Lee very lucky to hold on to that place as well, because the 3 cars behind him were fighting. Paraquix has now caught up massively.
I believe we will see. I think we're going to see some team orders here between the 2 Red Bulls. I believe NT is just basically going to be told the Perez technique of move.
Yep, I believe it's going to be Paraquix is faster than you. It doesn't look like he's...
that's a penalty for Vapid as well. It's an R1 for Vapid. Yep, NT does indeed move out of the way for his teammate, and now Scott can Para now gain. Oh no, NT was thinking about it for a second there, and then thought wise of it. Avoid a Turkey 2010 situation between the 2 Red Bulls.
Yep, Vapid gets round the outside of Adam Lee, but Adam Lee is coming back, but it backs out of the move. Oh, he went down the inside and goes way too wide into the corner.
Oh, this is not helping these guys at all in terms of like losing time. Adam Lee is probably but it's not. Oh, Adam Lee, what has happened there?
Not
That
sure.
that has got to be a safety car. Looking at where he's crashed, if that is not a safety car, I am going to be surprised.
I think safety cars are on reduced, so they may not come out.
That should still be a safety car, even on reduced. Look at where he's crashed.
We've also got a migrating host.
Yeah, that I believe Adam Lee was the new host, so
Yeah,
we now have another host. I told you that'd be a safety car. There was no way that was going to go without one.
This is gonna probably call. I mean, the people on mediums, no dilemma. They can just basically move straight to hards. But the people
Yeah,
on hards,
Scott. This has put Scott in a dilemma position here because he cannot pit.
nope, way too early. The mediums will not last until lap 26. I'm going to jump on board with Scott and actually see what he does. I think he'll probably stay out and just run its course for his pit.
Unless he does the technique of go in the pits and then come back out and then go back in again.
He stays out.
Nope. Para's gonna stay. Para's coming in.
Oh, so's NT. Red Bull's double stack.
NT's on. Oh,
Scrub
that's an
stays out.
interesting.
Checo's in.
I can understand Scrub staying out.
Let's see, is Cal going to come in?
He's on medium, so I could see him coming in.
Yep, Cal is coming in. Vapid's in as well. Berserker Mark stays out. Kirby stays out
Vapid's
as well.
on hards as well, so I'm going to be curious about. So Para's gone into mediums. Obviously, the safety car will be out for 3 laps for everyone to catch up. Will the mediums go the distance once those 3 laps are up?
I don't think so. I mean, it would be a massive.
It's mediums for Vapid as well. There's some gambles going on here. This is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously now, Scott knows having Scrub behind him is obviously Scrub is not going to be as aggressive as what potentially say like Para might well be, but Para on the mediums, he's going to have to conserve in these early laps if he wants these mediums to last.
Yep, Angelissimo stays out on the mediums, 6 lap, although he did pit before to repair a wing.
Yeah, he's also used a set of hards already, so you might not have had another set of hards. You only get the 1 set, I believe.
Yes, you do. You actually only get 1 set of hards. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like some alternate strategies coming out here. Some people throwing caution to the wind and trying to throw in a gamble. I mean, by the time this safety car comes in, they will probably have about 14 laps of racing, and I think that's a massive push for the mediums to be able to bear.
Yep. Interesting to note, by the way, if looking at the front, Scott is putting temperature into his tyres. Scrub is just sitting behind. He's kind of doing the Kimi Räikkönen technique of not really doing much weaving.
Yeah, he's probably going to do the weaving on the final lap because he knows that he can only stay out for 3.
A little bit there now. He's started doing it now. Obviously, the thing is, Berserker Mark, there's actually a back marker in between the Scrub and Berserker Mark. I believe that's Angelissimo, who's not been allowed to unlap himself. I don't know if they're going to do that system here.
I mean, they should, but don't know if they know. I actually do not know if
that rule is a thing in this league or not, because if that's, it may well help because it means that the safety car will stay out longer, and it'll actually help the guys in the mediums out if they actually, it's proactive for them to actually let Angelissimo go through, and then go and catch up to the safety car queue again.
I'm not sure if, I think it will stay out for 3 laps then come in whether he's joined onto the back or not. We have Key11 in the chat as well. Good evening.
Evening, Gate.
Yeah.
Obviously, as many people who don't know Key, son of Beastie.
He is indeed, yes. He is actually called Mini Beastie because he is Beastie in UFC's son. So.
Yes, who is also my team owner in our league.
Yep. But I mean, this is going to be interesting. The top 4 have to pit, so
yep. Para's
basically,
going to be quick on the safety car restart. So Para has to be measured on the safety car restart, but then he also has to use what he can of the tyres without taking too much.
yeah, I mean, basically right now,
As you
Para has
know,
to
he
leave.
is not weaving.
No.
He will probably weave on the start of the end of the safety car restart, or in the safety car restart. But he will probably not otherwise than that, because obviously Checo, obviously a fair few drivers, the guys on the mediums, it was an easy no-brainer for those guys. They don't have to worry about it. They're going to the end if there's no more safety cars. The top
Yep.
four is a different story. As I say, Scott obviously was looking forward to a nice sort of calm race, and obviously that's been thrown into complete chaos by what's happened now.
Well, we're about to find out, because effectively Para Quicks is in the lead of the Grand Prix with Checo and NT in second and third.
Oh.
But as we said, anything can happen, so we don't know what's actually going to happen. So I believe I'll be doing one more lap and then it will be coming in. Q11 saying I'm actually taller than my dad. Okay, then you're bigger mini beastie.
I mean, that does sometimes happen with kids and parents. It does. I mean, I found that with one of my parents, that I'm taller than one of my parents.
Yeah, I'm taller than both my parents, so yeah, I don't know how that works out, but Richie Emma's actually dropped to the back. I don't know what's happened. I think he's spun. Because he's not pit, he's on 2-lap old hard, so he pit when everybody else did, but he's ended up at the back of the grid, so I think he's spun somewhere. Which is obviously not good for the AlphaTauri driver. As GDMFA has left, unfortunately.
He is already out, though,
Yep,
so... He was the one who was DSQ'd right at the start.
Yeah, I believe his car spun, tried to get back on track, it spun again, as Scott W.
I was going to say, either that or that could be the thing that happened to me, where your car gets beached on a curb.
No, I think he just spun and got annoyed and didn't move again, and the game disqualified him. But Scott W is getting a bit impatient to start his race again, because he almost hit the back of the safety car. That's not advisable.
I was going to say, Scott, you need to leave a little bit of a gap to the safety car, because if you're too close, then you're going to be screwed over on the restart.
Yep. You'll be too close to
Considering you've got a car not too far behind,
well,
obviously the varying difference in pace here is going to be interesting on these worn tyres, because the hard tyres that are already up to temperature are going to probably be better than those that are on newer hard tyres, as the safety car is indeed in this lap. So Scott is now the controller of the pace.
Yep,
He is now slowed down.
Yep. See, yeah, I mean, if you don't let the safety car go, the game slows you down, and it's like a domino effect behind, and everyone just crashes into everyone. But we are about to get racing underway again. Be green flag. Scott just has to wait for the car, the safety car, to actually go into the pits, which it is now, and he has gone.
He's gone before the line.
So Scott has gone.
So Angelissimo's still at the back. Obviously, he'll be ghosted in a minute. Berserker Mark has been caught out, by the way, a little bit by this. He's got his teammate right behind him, so these two have been great teammates. Kirby being massively helpful in here, but Para's already alongside. There's nothing Kirby can do about that.
Well, Kozlesko is round, I believe.
Oh, we've got someone wide, but I believe that's Angelissimo. Oh, Kirby is indeed being a really good teammate here. He's gone back down the inside of Para. Obviously, this doesn't really help Para, as there's Angelissimo with a 10-second time penalty. I believe he was trying to get out of the way of people, and something else has happened. There's Kirby is definitely doing his teammate a massive favour. So obviously, Para's having to use his battery. Is here, obviously, he has NT behind as well, and obviously that's done his teammate a favour. That's unfortunate there for Cal at the back, but Para, that was a lot more difficult than he really wanted it to be. But Berserk obviously now under pressure from there, as NT is going to be on much fresher tyres behind there, but he does have a time penalty to contend with, that much like Kirby.
Yep, he does indeed. We've got another yellow flag somewhere.
That is so fresh.
Is indeed so fresh, has found himself.
We have Para now, Para is already lining up his next move on the back of Berserker Mark. Look at the difference in the grip.
Vapid all over the back of Checo.
Oh, there's Angelissimo has retired as well. That's That's it. That's at Max Verstappen corner as well, and that's another. That's going to be another safety car, I believe.
That may be yep, it is
Oh, and
a
that's
safety car.
unfortunate for Berserker Mark because I think Power's gonna. I think Power's had to let him go back through. This is complete confusion. What's going on here?
I know what this is. Once the safety car comes out, your
Yep, Scott's gone in. Scrub has not gone in. Oh, he has. Now they've gone in. Now I think the mediums. Oh, that's a 5-second penalty for Berserker Mark on the pit lane entry.
well, your delta drops to like -2 seconds. So yeah, it's not good. The guys have to literally stop on track to avoid any penalties. But yeah.
So Power does take the lead, but I'm assuming. Well, he's managed to get away obviously with no penalty there. It's a 1-2 for Red Bull now.
It is indeed. Everyone.
Checo in third.
He is, yes. Vapid back up to fourth. Dilworld in fifth. Exeter Sen in sixth.
Yep, indeed. I've noticed that Senna in sixth. Obviously, still learning days really for Senna in terms of obviously still being young and learning the game. But that's, I believe this is probably the highest up he's actually been. As there goes Checo from the session. I'll go and see if I can get him.
I believe he's finished in the top 5 before.
I'll go and see if I can check it in the meantime while you're actually.
Well, Scott is. Oh, Richie's actually pit and came out on the softs.
That's a mistake. Either that or he's serving the 5-second and coming back.
Oh,
the
he went wide. Yeah, I don't think the softs are. I mean, they won't. They definitely won't last until the end, even with the safety car. But yeah, I don't know what the thinking is there for.
I think Berserker Mark could go back in the pits again. And, I know I'd have to use another set of mediums, wouldn't he?
Yes. I mean, he could go in and drop them.
They're always getting impatient on the back of Vapid there. You don't stay behind on the safety car. You can't overtake.
Yeah. Checo's joined. He's back in. He did actually disconnect for a little while.
Yep, I got him back in the lobby.
Yep. So he is back.
NT, that's an interesting strategy by the way I'm picking up here. NT's keeping just outside of it, was keeping outside of his teammate by about a second, so I wonder if there'll be some stall tactics in the restart from the second Red Bull driver.
There possibly could be. I mean, as long as he doesn't, I would say as long as he doesn't fall 10 car lengths. Oh, Checo just about.
That was Checo retaking control of his car. Yeah. He just got back in control there.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he doesn't fall within the 10 car lengths behind, I think he should be okay.
Yep, Richie has indeed gone back into the pits.
Yeah, because it is still in effect until the.
I'm curious as to why Berserker Mark hasn't gone back in the pits with that 5-second penalty.
I'm sure actually. Obviously Scott, Scrub, Berserker Mark, and Kirby all on the mediums, as Richie goes on to 4-lap old hards. So
it's not. That shouldn't be. That's not too bad.
No, he will make it to the end with him. But I believe the safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap, possibly, if Richie can actually catch up to the back of the field. But we are getting down to the nitty gritty. There is only 11.5 laps left, so we should be. Oh, Dilworld sliding a little bit there.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit impatient behind Vapid. That's the thing. Like, he can't overtake, but this is just causing issues because what will end up happening here is that at some point there'll be an issue where Dilworld will try and make an overtake under the safety car. The game will get confused, think Dilworld is ahead, and tell Vapid to give the position back.
Yeah,
because the game is just like that.
The only way to rectify that is for Dilworld to go off track and give Vapid the place back. I don't know if he actually knows that though, but we'll soon find out because Richie is. It looks like Richie is going to catch the back of the grid.
Yeah, he should catch before the start of this. By the way, the two Red Bull drivers aren't really leaving a lot to the safety car.
No, they are not. Paraquix is almost pushing the safety car, so. But yeah, the safety car is in
there
this
we
lap.
go. Now he's backed off. Now he's realised.
So. Let's see what's going to happen here on the restart because one Red Bull is on mediums, one's on hards.
Oh! That was interesting there for a second. I think Para almost lost it while warming tires. The two Red Bulls are a bit. What are you doing, NT? That is way too close. You're giving your teammate a bit of a. Para's almost lost it about 2 or 3 times there while basically
Well,
going. I believe Para's gone early.
he's went.
I
So,
think Vapid's been caught out a
uh,
little bit. So has Dillworld.
uh,
Yeah, NT has done a great job. Para's got a great restart. NT's just been caught. Yeah, Checo's been caught napping.
oh,
I thought it was Vapid.
Scott
It's
is
not,
on
it
a
was-
move. He just took his let's go, and he almost hits the back of So Fresh, and Vapid has managed to pass Checo as well.
Down the inside, So Fresh, is the space going to be left? Yes, it is. That's going to allow
Oh!
Scrub to potentially make a move as well.
It doesn't. So Fresh spun and collected Scrub. That was innocent bystander. They're getting caught.
As there goes Checo again.
Yeah, Checo does.
I'll go and see if I can get him once
Disconnect
again.
again.
That's unfortunate.
But Checo's losing places here as well. He's dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, from 3rd as well. He was in a really good position. His internet's let him down, but I've just noticed as well, Senna and Dillworld, Senna up to P5 now, so matching his best at the moment.
Yep, and he's very, very close to the back.
He does seem to have a little bit more pace than Dillworld, actually, looking at it.
Yep, we've got another yellow flag somewhere. There's actually a yellow flag in Sector 1 where there is no cars, so
That's Cal and Checo swapping positions there. I think Scott is up to 7th.
Yep, he is. Scott is on a massive charge here to try and get back up to the front. Can't quite make the move on Cal just yet. Still has a yellow flag in Sector 1.
It's
but
Scrub,
there's no
yeah,
cars.
Scrub.
Senna
Scott
picks up
down the inside of the final corner. He's making the move on Cal, I believe, round the outside. That is a beautiful move round the outside. Scott is not hanging around here. He's got Senna up next on his list, and Kirby and Berserk Marker swap positions behind there. As I believe
Senna was
Kirby.
deep. And he's off track. Missed the turn.
Yep.
Massively missed turn 1. Drops down to P10. Now has Richie 4 seconds behind. Still still in the back of the group though.
Scott is going to be on the back of this battle. Sometimes Stillworld has lost nearly 3 seconds to Vapid just on that restart. There seems like there's a real struggle for pace for the Alfa Romeo driver here in comparison to the Haas driver, who is clearly just not in a rush, or he's not wanting to wait. Is what I was wanting to say there. As Scrub has had to go back onto hard tires again.
Yep, 13 lap old hard tires, and not the best of choices, but possibly
He didn't. He wouldn't have had another set of mediums, or
possibly his only
maybe.
choice. But
Vapid's now got within a second of NT.
yep,
NT, as I say, has fell back about 4.5 seconds, nearly 5 seconds now. He's doing his teammate a massive favour here, but knowing the fact that Scott doesn't really have to do a lot of work here, because I believe all the cars in front of him have penalties.
yes, NT, Vapid and Dillworld have penalties as Kirby gets past Checo. Checo is back in his car, so that was an actual move on an actual driver, not an AI, so he does get past
I believe
him.
Checo is going to come back at him potentially. Oh, that's a bit of a corner cut there. It's easy to do that.
Yes, it's incredibly
Vapid
easy.
I think Vapid is potentially going to make a move here. He's within 4 tenths.
Nope.
That's
not
another
close
penalty
enough.
for NT. That's going to drop him back out of not just the top 2. That's going to drop him back a bit more than that.
Yeah, it could possibly be down to 8th, all the way down to where Checo is, or even possibly Berserker Mark.
At the moment, yeah. So NT really needs to get a move on now, because penalties are going to cost him. But he's got Vapid breathing down his neck, breathing down the gearbox of that car.
Yep.
As we're going to have there.
Scott gets a
Scott's
penalty.
picked up a penalty now, so that's brought Cal into it.
And it's also handed potential victory to Para Quicks as well.
Para, if he just keeps it clean, he's got this sorted in the bag. Kirby, by the way, meanwhile, is going to probably go for a move here on Cal, as well as Dillworld is making a move as well. But I believe Cal and Kirby, I believe Kirby's going to get moved done around the outside. Cal doesn't really fight it, obviously being on the the harder car compound, as I believe NT's lost it.
He has.
Looks
Looks
position
like
to Vapid.
he's lost the possession of Vapid, so he's down to P3. Scott is closing in extremely
So
quickly.
Scott is still going to be ahead of him though.
Purple sector
Knowing
3.
the nature, the thing is, Cal and Kirby need not to battle each other into oblivion, because if they don't, then they'll be able to take advantage of the 3-second penalties up ahead.
Actually, let's check who has the fastest lap. It's doing that thing again.
But that's because, yeah, they won't be able to do fast lap because of the broadcast formation lap.
Yep.
That is because Les got the final corner, I believe, that it's lost the back end, or it's Richie M.
Yeah, it's because Lesko, he's lost the. I mean, he was about 4 seconds behind XR Senna. He's now 17.8 seconds behind him. NT's doing a really good job keeping up with Vapid as well as Berserker Marcus.
I will. Ooh. Yep, he's got 8 seconds of penalties now. I don't know if he can get one of those removed for potential it being of a certain thing. Cal just has to stay close, because if Cal can stay close, him and Kirby are in a great position.
Yeah, and the two of them are in an amazing position to try and gain places. Maybe even jump up onto the podium.
One of them may well get on the podium. I don't believe both of them will because of the gap. Oh, Cal.
Okay, commentator's curse.
So Kirby is now. Hopefully, I haven't commentator cursed them as well.
Let's see. NT is really sticking to the back of Vapid.
The thing is, NT. This is not the problem now. Is that there's a very quick Haas approaching, who is going to get the position from NT anyway at the end of this race.
Oh, Checo hit the sausage curb there and almost spun and almost went into the back of Berserker Mark, but Mark does take the place from Checo, so he's up to P8. Checo is going to try and fight back though, because he's still very close to Berserker Mark. NT is actually starting to drop off of Vapid as well. So he may. I mean, Scott was bringing the time down to everyone, but he's around
I think he may well have used up the best of those tyres already.
Yeah. I mean, he is bringing
so that
down
gap
the time.
is kind of only. It's not moving that much. He can get it under 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets the gap down good enough, he can try and. Oh, so fresh is on softs. Now is definitely time for softs. They will last to then.
Yes.
He's losing a lot.
Oh, there's that's 9 seconds for NT now.
Well, Scott is definitely going to be. He's going to be within the DRS.
He's going to drop. I think now, if I'm looking at penalties, he's going to drop way down out of third now. So that's penalties costing the second Red Bull driver here. Not being able to keep it between the white lines.
Well, NT's still sticking on the back of Vapid, but he's going to have an extremely fast-moving Haas right behind him.
Yep. I think Scott has realised as well he needs to close, and he's got within DRS, and NT has crucially just dropped out.
Yep, he has. So Vapid managing to pull away, but Scott has to contend with the Red Bull before he gets to the Williams. 5 laps and 5.5 laps remaining in the race. And we've got XCR Leclerc in the chat cheering on Lewis, who is XCR Senna, is down in P11, but he is 18.4 seconds in front of Kozlesko, who had a little bit of a spin.
I think Berserker Mark is going to shape up a move on Cal here down towards the first end of the first sector. It's going to be an easy move down the inside.
Yeah, Cal
or there actually no, Cal is actually still going to have the inside.
Yeah, but I don't think he's fighting it. Oh, Berserker Mark goes wide. But it looks like he's got the grip on the corner as it looks like...
no, he's not. The move was not done. Cal's gone back up the inside. He's used a lot of ERS in the process of doing it. Also, note, while that was going on, Scott has closed within 3/10.
Yep, he's now 3/10 behind the Red Bull driver. What's he going to do? He's only got a 1.1 second gap to make up to Vapid. Look at the straight line speed of that.
Look at the slipstream difference. NT's not going to fight this, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, he's not fighting this. Not with the amount of penalties.
I definitely don't think he's got anything left to fight it, but he's now got Vapid. Oh, his NT goes down the inside and tries to
I think that was a late break there.
Yep. I mean, obviously he is in a Red Bull, thinks he's Daniel Ricciardo, but it didn't quite work out. Scott
Now, the thing is, he's got to try and close up. He's got 6 laps. I think Para has this in the bag. Vapid's probably, he can, I think Scott and Vapid are on the same amount of penalties.
Well, that means they'll be fighting for places as XR Senna is going really,
Oh.
really wide.
So Berserker Mark, by the way, looking back at the battle for 7th, has now ended up in an Aston Martin sandwich here.
Yep, he is. He has Cal in front of him, Checo behind him, so it's going to be interesting. Checo looks like
Oh,
he
a
has
little bit
some
of a moment
pace.
from Berserker Mark out of the corner. There's not going to be much deployment for Checo to use. Berserker Mark can use his battery. The thing is, Cal and Checo behind don't have much battery to use, whereas Berserker Mark has about 20%.
That was a nice move by XR Senna there to get past Richie.
Oh!
Oh, Berserker Mark's
that's
round.
that's wing damage for Berserker Mark as well. That was a hard hit on the wall. He just lost the back end. He was coming to the corner. Once again, it looked like he was nowhere near a curb, and the back end just completely let go.
Yep. He does have damage. He's lost an end plate. Shouldn't be too much. I mean, you can see he's going wide coming out of that corner there, and he's going to have XR Senna and Richie.
Oh,
M.
Richie M. Oh, that is an interesting line there from Senna across there. That's not the racing line there.
No, it's a defending line.
Oh, that's going to allow just Richie up the inside.
Yeah. It's going to be close.
Round the outside.
Nope.
Yep, there we go.
He's got DRS, so it's going to be made easy to get past, but don't
Now
know
with
what Berserker Mark's going to do.
4 laps to go. Scott needs to put pressure on Vapid, so he may want to see if he
Mark's in.
can make some mistakes.
Kirby gets another penalty.
Kirby, he was the one that didn't get one, so
Yeah.
he's now got one as well.
So, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
Kirby will still jump NT.
Well, Scott is within DRS of Vapid and has dropped NT, so, but his tyres are probably going to be wearing out very, very quickly. As Berserker Mark moves to the softs, So Fresh gets another penalty.
It just looks like, though, that Vapid is still not gaining on Para at all. Para's still pulling away.
Yeah, he is 10.8 seconds. We've got another yellow flag. Who is that?
That's Berserker Mark or So Fresh at the back potentially.
Yeah, So Fresh letting Para Quicks through it. Actually, we've not really featured him much.
Here we go, Scott down the outside.
Yep, here he goes. Easy move.
Oh,
but Vapid's going to try and come
maybe
back.
not.
Nope.
Obviously now Vapid not knowing the fact that he really can't make it, nothing else is really going to happen here. Scott now needs to make this stick. He's on 9-lap old tyres. How
Yep.
much can he take out of Para
Actually,
in these laps?
Vapid's on 13-lap old mediums. 14 now.
Same as Para,
Yep.
because they both pitted in the same lap.
So it should be a little bit easier for Scott to...
Yeah, he's only got 3 laps though. This came
no,
too late really for Scott.
Well, yeah,
Scott...
he's 10.6 seconds. He's not going to be able to pull that in.
Oh, So Fresh is out, turn 1.
Yep. No, there will be no safety car. There's only 3 laps remaining, so no safety car. But let's have a look. So Checo is behind his teammate of Cal, whilst Vapid's still in the back of Scott W. Berserker Mark gets another 3-second penalty, but yeah, I mean Vapid really has to try and take the fight back. To,
Oh, Para's now got a penalty as well.
That's not going to make a difference with 10.5 second
Yep.
gap. So Vapid, I mean Vapid could just settle for P3. I believe he doesn't have as many penalties as NT behind him.
No,
but,
NT has 9 seconds.
But Vapid's tyres are going to be falling off quite badly.
So at this moment in time, NT is going to fall all the way back to potentially P8.
Yep. So, not a good race for NT, but still, his teammate is having a really good race. As Scrub's AI, I believe, receives a penalty. It may not be his AI, it may actually be him. It just shows he's not in the car.
Is there? Yeah, there's our Artie leaving again. He's not had a good weekend overall.
Nope. I don't believe he even got to race. I think he just was spectating the car, and his AI decided
He somehow got DSQ'd for spectating. That's a new one on me.
No.
Or DNF for a bit of spectating. That's a new one.
I think his AI decided just to put the car on the wall. Checo's actually caught up to Cal, so I wonder what's going to happen here between the two Aston Martins.
They're on the
Because
same. They're on the same tire, the same
Yep.
lap of all tires. At this point, they've nothing to lose because Cal is miles behind Kirby, and he's miles ahead, and Checo is miles ahead of Richie.
Scrub is racing just blue flag ghosting. Okay. That'll be why it looks like he's not in his car, but he is in his car. So yeah, this Rapids fell off of Scott W. Scott's bringing the gap down a little bit, but it's still not enough. I mean, it's penultimate
Yeah,
lap.
I believe we would have needed a fair few more laps for Scott to really start reducing that gap. He's probably going to bring this about to maybe just under 10 seconds, but it's going to be nothing more than that.
Okay, here we go. The Aston Martin boys are right next to each other. Checo has DRS. Is Cal going to give it up? Checo goes down the inside, and it looks like Cal's not going to give it up.
Well, I mean, they've nothing to lose.
No, the two of them are still side by side. And still fighting into the corner. Still side by side all the way through the second last corner as well. But Cal pulls out of the defence and Checo manages to pass him for P7. I mean, even though the two of them are 7th and 8th, still going to be a good result for Aston Martin. And obviously the two of them fighting is not going to help with NT's really a lot of penalties, but still.
I wonder.
But we are on the last lap.
Yep, and I believe now the gap has come down under 10 seconds. However, I think Para made a mistake somewhere because that gap was over 10 seconds. It's now, I know that it's a little bit tighter, but it's about 9.2 now.
Yeah, I still don't think it's quick enough. He's trying to warm his tyres, or either that or he's celebrating early. Don't do that, Para. But yeah, it's clean sweep for Para Quicks. It looks like he is going to take the victory. He's coming up to the final few corners. He is catching Scrub in the Mercedes, but it looks like Scrub's not going to be lapped. As Para Quicks comes across and does take the victory. Yep. Scott W is.
While you're saying about that, Cal's going to go for move once again on Checo. These two once again going side by side. Checo may well try and go for the under and over on his teammate potentially, but although I believe Cal may well have just got it done. Although Checo's going to try and go for the inside, not with jockeys to the outside. No. Cal is just going to take it, I believe.
Yeah, smart racing from Cal 17 F1 there.
Oh,
and the two,
big.
That was close.
And there goes Checo across the line.
Yep, Checo jumps him anyway due to penalties, I believe. But Richie is about to come over the line and finish P9. And I think
NT actually only dropped to 6th.
Well, I think the biggest surprise in the top 10, XCR Senna is going to finish 10th, with Kozlesko finishing 11th.
The only one without penalties?
Yes, he was. He was actually the only one without penalties, which is actually...
Shows you how difficult this track is for track limits.
Yeah, either that or the setups weren't that good. But, yep, he crosses his line, keeps P11. Berserker Mark is going to come across and take P12.
An unfortunate race for him and Scrub because they did have pace. It just they just got caught up in incidences.
But Scrub is going to be the final person to come across and finish the race in P13. But
yep, just outside of the points, unfortunately for Scrub.
Yeah,
Berserker Mark will get a point. Scrub won't.
Yep, one place out of the points in P13. Wow. So the stream has been going on for over 2 hours.
That's what happens if you've got like any issues with the game being the game. Kirby gets driver of the day. Actually, who is our driver of the day going to be?
Do you know what? I think I'm going to have to say Scott. His pace on those mediums to get from, I believe it was like 8th or 9th, all the way back up to 2nd place. And then
I mean, the safety car probably helped a little bit there.
Yeah, but he still had to have pace because the drivers in front of him weren't exactly slow. So, yeah, I mean, it's either going to be between Paraquix or Scott W for me because Para just was
it'd be different reasons. I'd say if it's Para, it's going to be for just the fact of how measured he was after what happened in the sprint. And then Scott would be just purely just because of the fact he was just able to keep up his pace.
Yeah. But there we have it. That is the final results of the race. Paraquix takes a victory with Scott W in second. Vapid will take third. And the final podium place. Dilworld will take P4, brilliant result for him. Kirby will take P5 with NT25 in sixth. Checo jumps his teammate of Cal to take P7. Cal will take P8. Rich AM in ninth. XCR Senna will take P10.
I like how actually we said about the fact of we'd give everybody who them, but Kirby managed to finish 5th from 17th in the grid. I've just realised that. And he missed out on driver of the day before, so I'm going to actually give that to him. I just realised.
Okay, well, because Let's Go will take P11 with Berserker Mark in 12th. Scrub will take P13. And then we obviously have the DNFs of SoFresh, Angelissimo, Adam Lee, Morgs, Alpha RA, and JDM. So, yeah, I believe Sam
all of the people, I've got all the people already in the party for the actual 2 people here.
Yep.
We do not have Vapid. We do now have all 3.
So, you can take it away, Sam. I'm
sure thing.
On to okay.
E-cars.
The cars, yep. I just got an error there for some stupid reason.
Yeah, I got the same thing. Anyway.
Let's see. So that one. There we go.
I'll let you, once you've got the car sorted out, I will get started. Anyway, so 3rd place this week, obviously coming from the Silverstone circuit, belongs to Vapid. Obviously, a bit of a chaotic race and a bit of a mess overall, but talk us through it from your point of view.
First of all, at the start of the race, I had an issue where when we were on the formation lap, I left the game to get the race going for the guys, but then when I came back into the game, I tried to take control of my car, and when the lights went out, my car just stayed there on the grid. It didn't move, it didn't do anything, so obviously once I left again and joined back, my car eventually did get going, but I was like about 18 seconds or something behind like the rest of the pack, so already my race was in the bin at that point, so yeah, the car felt really good in race time, and I was pushing like crazy to try and make up as much places as I could, but yeah, I think if it wasn't for that issue, I think I maybe could have got P2 at the very least, but yeah, congrats to Scott, and because they both showed really good pace, and yeah, it's just the name of the game, you just get hit with bad luck sometimes, and you just have to take on the chin, so yeah, overall enjoyed the race, I had a lot of good fun, a lot of good overtakes as well, and yeah, we'll move on.
So obviously going into the weekend, did you have any targets going into it, or was it just kind of a hope for the best sort of thing?
To be honest, Silverstone isn't really a track I really enjoy. I've never really favoured well around it in league racing in general, but for some reason I must have hooked the setup up very last minute because it felt god awful in practice this afternoon, and I think it was within the final hour before the lobby had opened. I must have hooked it up, and it was a lot more better, and I was a lot more closer to what I thought I was going to be to the guys. So and my race pace did seem a lot more promising as well compared to my quali. So yeah, I had to pit a lot more earlier as well. So my tyres were completely shot in the final like 2 laps. Because obviously the likes of the guys who stayed on the hards, they got extra couple laps on their hards, and also had that extra tyre advantage, and it's quite big around Silverstone. So yeah, I think from my point of view, I did everything I could. If I had stayed out for extra couple laps, I would have probably lost track position. So when the first safety car came out, I had to take the opportunities, which just meant I suffered the at the end. But yeah, I'm still happy to take P3 from dead last.
Fair enough. And then obviously next up we have Paul Ricard on the circuit. Paul Ricard? Yes. How good track for yourself, or needing improvements?
I mean, it was a track I quite enjoyed on the last game. I don't know what it's like on this game. I'm hoping it's probably the same, but knowing Cody's like changing it up and surprising you half the time. So yeah, I'll keep open-minded and just see how we go. I think every single race going forward, you just have to take it open-minded, and I think from here on in, whoever gets the setup hooked up and who feels most comfortable and stays out of trouble is going to do well. So yeah.
Fair enough. Congratulations on your 3rd place. We'll look forward to seeing you in the podium next week in Paul Ricard. 2nd place is obviously our last week's race winner, Scott W. Welcome to the podium. Obviously, talk us through. Obviously, you had control of that race for sort of the first initial laps, and then I think safety cars kind of screwed around with you a little bit. But talk us through it.
Off the start, it was a bit confusing with everyone disconnecting and stuff, but then I built up like 7 seconds or something stupid like that of a lead, and I've never felt more comfortable in terms of race pace, and then obviously the safety car came out, that put me at an issue. I didn't fit in on the initial one, which I then realized, yeah, I probably should have done that, but I'm lucky that second safety car came out, so I was able to go in anyway, and then that I was able to push through the field. The pace was good, better than I thought it would be actually this weekend. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy.
Fair enough. And obviously, going into this weekend is something I believe it was mentioned on the Twitter post we were talking about. What you're talking about. You're not. You said yourself you're not a fan of this track. So, more than you expected come out of this for this weekend.
I really was just having setup issues all weekend, but then it was mainly because I was practicing while I was running the medium tires, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that again. Mediums was not a good idea to start on, so obviously I had to be on the hards at the very start. I was planning on taking the hards deeper into the race and then going for the softs at the end, but then obviously the second safety car came out, that changed. But honestly, so it felt fine honestly once I got into it.
As I say, as I say, me and Will were always going to bring that up, considering you mentioned that going into it, and you still did it quite well. Obviously, Paul Ricard up next. How are we feeling going into that?
Track's fun. I like it. But I hope that my pace is still there. I don't really have expectations apart from that, so yeah.
Fair enough. Man, a few words on that. Congratulations, Scott, in your second place, carrying on your good momentum from last week. Look forward to seeing you on the podium next week if you do well.
Thank you, and well done to Remy on the win. Good stuff. He was always going to get me anyway.
So, on the topic of the race winner, the final person to talk to, Paraquex. Congratulations on the victory. Obviously not the best sprint race from yourself, but you made up for it in the main race, the main feature itself. Talk us through it.
Yeah, not the best weekend to start with the sprint race, but I just lost focus. I wasn't feeling very well during the races, so just had no concentration at all. So I just thought I might get a good result out of it. With some luck, I got the P1 in the main race. But yeah, the sprint race, I just lost concentration and just spun me out. And I felt like the soft tires weren't really good for my setup as well, because the rears just lit up. But yeah, I had some fun. I came from P15 and just fight through the field, and then get some luck with the safety car. Managed to get that win.
Fair enough. Obviously, going into the weekend, would you have expected to win the race going into it with your pace, or was that kind of more than what? Did you get more than you expected out of it?
I didn't really try out Great Britain, so I mean, like I did a couple of laps, but I didn't really do any race pace, so I was feeling decent about it.
Fair enough. And then finally, obviously, Paul Ricard up next. How are you feeling going into that one yourself?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite track on this game, so.
So high expectations then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun there.
Fair enough. A man, a few words to say from yourself, Power. Well done on the win. Congrats to Scott in second place and Vapid in third. I will now hand back over to Will for any sort of closing words.
Yeah, thank you. We will finish off there, but obviously, watch out for.
Also to note as well, thanks for the follow as well, Berserk Mark. I'd have seen that.
Yes, thank you for the follow, and for everyone tuning in as well. Been a bit of a rocky road, but we got there in the end. But
could I also just add in something?
yeah, go for it.
I'd just like to say thanks for everyone tuning in, and also to the fact that we've now had 4 different winners in the first 4 races, so I think it just shows how close this league's been, surprisingly. So.
Yep, that's actually a good point. That gives me a couple of ideas, but I'll keep them to myself. Everybody can find out next week. But yeah, be sure to tune in for round 5 next week, around Paul Ricard, or Circuit Paul Ricard. One place I'm glad I'm not driving on. But yeah, we will be back next Saturday for round 5. As per usual, be sure to check out. Actually, I can't remember if I've still got it. If you, I think I have it. Yes, I do. There we go. So if you do want to join RFL, or you like the look of the driving, then the Discord link is in the chat. You can click on it, jump in and sign up, and the guys will get you sorted. But I mean, that's it from us. Be sure to tune in to XCR on Monday. But apart from that, RFL will be back next week, on Saturday for round 5 around Circuit Paul Ricard. So until then, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
See everyone later.